Dykstra Dave. 50 hours. I'm actually embarrassed to say that because I love this thing so much. It should have hundreds of hours. But there's so much to do around here. I don't get to it as much as I'd like. But it's 50-hour kind of a review, kind of a maintenance update. If you do own one of these, you know they don't come with any kind of real operational manual. No operator's manual. What there is basically nothing. But we got a good representative here in Daryl at Daryl Sawmill who's happy to answer any questions. But for anyone who's just wants to know what's going on, I'm hoping this video will kind of give you some insight on some maintenance areas, things you need to do, especially at the 50-hour mark, and what I've done so far, what I've learned, and what I like and dislike so far. All right, 50 hours. Let's see, I'll turn this. When the unit moves up and down, you have to remember where they went. Everything is just been freshly greased and oiled. Again, they don't tell you where all these nipples are. You kind of got to find them yourself. And I believe I've got them all. So there she be. Yeah, 50.1. Right on, eh? All right, so this is Big Red XP, an amazing machine. Just top-notch quality welds. I went and seen a few other guys who have gotten other unnamed kits, and this has been a terrible year for them because everyone that I know of has gotten their kits, hasn't got all the parts for their kits. So it's one thing to wish you had a sawmill, but it's a far worse thing to have a sawmill that you can't use and don't know when the rest of the parts are coming. Again, one very nice thing about buying from Pascal Metal or Valley Forest Products and Daryl's chainsaw is the fact, Daryl's sawmill, sorry, is the fact it comes all together just like you see. One solid piece frame, running, full tank of gas, demoed, blades lined up, everything is good to go. You don't get that with anyone else that I know of, at least not in this area. All right, so I'm on this side. So bearing points, grease points, there on each of the two wheels. The rest are more easily assessed on the other side. You've got a grease point here, which greases this shaft that moves up and down, raises your units up and down. Important one, easily missed, is on the end of these bearing, well, on the bearing cap here, you pop off that green cover. That's on both ends. So you've got two of those. You have one underneath here. That's for the engine that slides. Again, this unit doesn't have a clutch. Smart stuff. Clutches are just something else to go wrong and something expensive to repair or replace. This one, it just slides, the engine slides into the pulley, which then tightens the belt. And now you might, and I don't think so, but you might have less belt life, but you're never gonna, a belt's cheap compared to actually putting a clutch into it. Again, one on this side, which is raising and lowering the actual mill itself up and down. This inside here is a grease nipple. This is for the shaft that actually moves the wheel adjustments back in and out. I don't think there's one at this end. Nope. And I believe that's got those. Oil change, nice and easy. oil filter is up in there. I have already changed the filter once, and this is its third oil change. Now, normally you can go 100 hours on it, but I did 5, 25, and now this is the third one at 50, and I've gone to synthetic, and that's worked for me for hundreds of small engines I've owned with my company and personally. Oil is cheap, change them out. I've actually only had one motor go bad on me, and it was actually a Honda 13 horse that threw a rod through the block, but obviously it was something manufactured wrong. But I have never worn out an engine with thousands of hours if you look after them, and oil changes are key. Now again, when you grease these, you're actually filling, that's on the other side of the wheel here, you're actually filling this. It's like a wheel bearing of a trailer, filling it up. I was actually kind of surprised when I popped this out. It was pretty dry. It wasn't dry, but it was pretty dry. So don't be afraid to put a few extra pumps in there. What else maintenance-wise? I lube some of these joints here. Not really much required that way, but I'll just fire it up real quick. All right. Again, if you got one of these mills, oh, it's a great joint point there too. This is the that slides in and out to force this wheel out, which gives you your belt tension. Now, when you're not using it for the sake of your belt and for the sake of your blade, remove the tension, and actually even your bearings. I'm sure it's helpful. So by pushing this, hang on, I need 2 hands. All right, once that's locked in, your blade's good and tight, and now this is what spinning, obviously, keep your fingers out of that. But when you pull that threaded lever there on the other side, it pulls the motor into this pulley, which tightens that belt, which gets everything going. Not only does it do that, but in one motion, you're also moving this valve into that bolt there, which now lubricates your blade. And it doesn't stop there with this. This is that rod you move. It also throttles the engine up. So if I drop this panel, and it's also, we'll add that out. All right, so I am going to back this up. So by just pulling this lever, you're sliding the unit. And engaging the blade, engaging that lubricant. You open this valve, and you're away. Simple as that. And push it away, and it's actually got a brake inside I can show you that actually stops the unit dead. So again, just pulling this rod ahead, applies the motor, turns on the fluid, and tightens that belt. It's just cold. Once it's warmed up, you can throw that lever right away and she doesn't stall out. Only problems I've had here, I've had this, I'm gonna take the pressure off. I've had this this bearing go once, and I just put it on maybe 5 or 6 hours, and this one you can see spins real nice, and this one, I don't know. And that wasn't covered under warranty in the first year. I'm hoping it's not something, but this one doesn't seem to be last as long as it should. What else? Okay, yes, you may have noticed, I should have probably put it back on for the video. There actually is a safety that runs right through here, covers the blade, bolts onto the end of this. Likewise there. Dykes for Dave is dangerous Dave too. But for me, I'm by myself. I'm doing all the cutting myself. I found it advantageous for a number of reasons to remove those, but you shouldn't leave them on. And again, for the first while, again, no owner's manual. To push this wheel over, I couldn't figure out, you can't just push here. It doesn't slide that easy. So you can see where I whacked it with my rubber mallet or my wood pick there, and I banged it to get tension off. Well, if you apply the tension and then you release it, not a lot comes off. So either you got to wallop on that, or the real simple thing is push. And by pushing the blade, it pulls. Again, wish someone had showed me that when I first got it. That's so simple. You don't got to whack on the back and possibly do damage, and kind of looks stupid too. Again, I have to replace this. Daryl did send me one of these. This hose here is actually too short. You see, once that, you can pull this out. This opens up the sawmill to cut full width, but mine came with too short. But Daryl was quick. I just have not put it on. I don't cut that many that big, but the hose is in my bucket. It's just a matter of laziness. I need to put that on. Again, one of the questions I said to Daryl, wow, everyone else has got metal. How come you guys give plywood out for it? Well, as you can see, I have thrown my share of blades. Not actually very many. I threw most of them in the first 5 hours. I have not thrown a blade in the last 35 hours. But you will throw a blade now and then, just the way you back up. You really can't back up when you're cutting. I learned that. I backed up and blades go flying off. Let me turn this off. They fly off. But if you've got a metal, it's got a metal diamond plate in the front. But if you got a metal front or metal, let's deal with metal first. If you got metal, it's gonna wreck your blade. It's done. It's gonna fly off, hit the metal, dull it, and it's over. So here, it's just gonna hit wood, and that's what it's designed to cut. Two, if this was plastic, you can imagine the damage, how quickly before you tear a hole through an expensive plastic front. So worst case scenario is, and it would take a lot, I don't think I'll ever get there, thank goodness, but worst case scenario, you do actually cut through. Guess what? You cut a piece of plywood using the template here and re-screw on the cover, and you're set to go. But I don't think that'll ever happen. So what I first thought was kind of cheap is actually just common sense, keeping things simple, and it works. Other than that, oil changes, yeah, like I say, 5 at break-in, 25 filter and oil, break-in, 50 fresh oil, gone synthetic. Again, everyone's got their own. This is what I do, just telling you. Another thing I've had a problem with is this. This cracked. I don't know why. It didn't freeze. It actually cracked during the summer, so I've plastered it up. And that seems to have, well, no, it's lost. It still drifts a bit. I'm gonna have to either get it's just a simple lid and drill a hole in and thread that through. But otherwise, super good on gas. Can go all day. I am going to have this metal piece here. I'm gonna magnet, and I'm going to actually hook it up somewhere up here, and I'm gonna mount a light so I can do more cutting, because I actually love the fall. The bush is gorgeous in the fall, but it gets dark so soon. So with the battery and the generator on this thing, I'll have no problem firing up a nice big spotlight that will roll with the unit and extend my cutting hours. Great. If you got any comments, you got any suggestions, just leave them. If you like the channel, this is the first time I'm going to say it, subscribe. I really don't care if you don't want to, but everyone says it, so I feel like I'm leaving that out. I just do this to help guys like me who are looking and wondering what to buy. Everyone's always on these forums. What's the best mill to buy? I researched them. I don't think you got a better value than this unit anywhere out there. And I don't get paid by them. I don't get nothing. But these guys build a quality unit and so far have stood behind it 100%. And that's why I bought the the Red Runner. Started splitting wood because again they offer tremendous value. But this one they make themselves and it shows. All right, Dykstra Dave out. Have a great fall and go make some sawdust.